We actually got to see the ROG Xbox Ally X. I got to play it at Gamescom. I'm going to be making a longer form video about this situation and just talking about my impressions of the handheld. But I'll give you a quick sneak peek. I liked it. And I like these rumors about a PlayStation 6 handheld. I like that the handheld market is doing some interesting things that don't involve pushing pixels and pushing hardware in the way that we're used to. We're never again going to see that leap from the Nintendo 64 all the way up to the PlayStation, or the PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. All of those graphical leaps, they were quite substantial. We are now at a point where a lot of the games that are running on our phone are halfway decent and impressing people enough that they're willing to just play mobile phone games if the level of fun loop is where it needs to be. And more often we are seeing that. So we are getting more of these companies doing the whole handheld thing, like the ROG Xbox Ally X. Now this one is coming out October 16th, 2025. October 16th, 2025. So that is interesting. We know that it will have the 1 terabyte version and the 16 gigabyte version. Having played both of these, I will admit that they just feel really good. And I think that's going to be the main point that I get at, is that it feels way lighter than you would expect for some reason. It just doesn't feel hefty. Not in like this thing feels cheap way, but it just feels like you're holding a controller, and it doesn't feel like you're holding a handheld. So the weight distribution is really, really well done, and it feels really good for what they're going for. And for me, I'm pretty excited about that, honestly. So I have a bunch of footage of me actually playing, and this is for my edit later. I got to play High on Life 2. So this is me actually playing High on Life 2 on the Xbox ROG Ally X, and you can sort of see that gameplay on this thing. Here, I'll just fast forward to some actual gameplay where we're going around in the streets, so to speak. So here I am playing High on Life 2 on the ROG Xbox Ally X, and it's pretty good. I'm not good at video games, but as you can see, it just looks like I'm holding a controller, and it's running pretty smoothly. This is an in-development game. It's a game that I actually really liked. I need to make it. I have like 40 videos or something I need to make from Gamescom. It's nuts how much content came out of that event, and I'm doing my best to catch up and share all of that with you. But yeah, so I played this thing. The only thing that correct me if I'm wrong, chat, there has been no official update on the price, correct? There's been no official update on the device's price as far as I can tell. And that's the one thing that has been sort of driving me crazy. I just want to know how much the thing is going to cost. I just want to know how much the device is going to cost. This is all raw B-roll. So like if you want to see like an up close look at like what it looks like, this is all shot on my phone. I'm just trying to get a look at what the buttons look like up close and things like that. So yeah, this is the ROG Xbox Ally X, obviously the higher end version. And my immediate reaction is it's lighter, it feels really good, games run really good on it. Let me see if I can find that footage. I have some footage of me playing Doom on it, and for some reason there's like an FPS counter on Doom, but yeah, of course it was stupid, and it captured vertically for some silly reason. Do this here, -90. All right, so maybe this footage is a little bit better. And I apologize. Like I said, this is me trying to capture this stuff. And then, yeah, so I hop into Doom. And I think I messed with the settings. You can't see. Oh, man, the light is like right on the FPS. says like 70 FPS, I want to say. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So for the most part, unfortunately, that light hit right where the FPS counter is. But so this is me playing Doom at 70, 80 FPS on the handheld. So that has been pretty fun to encounter the fact that it just plays really well. Now Doom is typically a really well optimized game, but then I actually went in and I cranked everything up just to see if I can mess with the FPS, and it's still holding like 50 to 60 FPS. Yeah, so I went in and I literally cranked everything to ultra. Here, here are the settings that I adjusted, right? So I went in, I cranked all the settings to what you typically would not set them to, just the default settings. And yeah, Ultra Nightmare quality. And it's still doing pretty well for itself. So I don't know how accurate those particular frame rates are. Oh, sorry. Here it is with the updated settings. And anytime there's a menu, it'll like reduce the FPS, but it's still above 30. It's going all over the place because the handheld is not supposed to be set in the way that it's set. But Xbox was very smart to utilize that game to showcase their frame rate because it is seemingly very well optimized. And then you go to the lowest setting, and obviously it's popping off, so to speak. So yeah, more on that later. We're going to be talking more about the Xbox ROG Ally X, and I did also play the handheld. Consider this a teaser. And then I took some B-roll of the two handhelds like right next to each other, and you can see the bottom one's running Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 is looking great, and they're basically the exact same unit for the most part. And my question is, what is the price of this thing? Because so far, obviously I'm digging it. I actually didn't play Forza. I just I just dug around in the menus. Here are some of the ports on top of the lower end unit, and just B-roll that I took of the devices. This is me just messing around in the store. I was going through the store to see if there was some way where Xbox slipped up and gave us like a prototype store with games that aren't supposed to be in there or something. So I spent a lot of time digging through the menu, like 5 minutes digging through the menus. But yeah, overall, it feels great. It's really easy to go from the device to Windows or to whatever you're trying to get to and back. They actually show me that you can jump into Windows and then do a reboot so that you regain that RAM or whatever. I think that's one of the very first things that I tested. So I was able to jump in, and then I'm like, hey, how do you go to Windows? And somebody just said, well, you just press this button. These are all of the menus and things that you can do in the back end, including boost. And then to get to Windows, you just, here it is. You go into gamepad mode, and then you go over to exit the full screen experience, and basically there's Windows. So if you had this plugged into a device that was able to go into your television, it would be incredibly easy to jump from Windows back into gaming. You can just use it like any device that would have Windows on it. It has touch screen, obviously. So I think it's pretty slick. And then you can restart the device so that you re-enter that optimized state where it's optimized for gaming. What I find unique about this one is you can actually reboot it so that it has more power on Windows, or reboot it so that all of the content that you would want getting that extra power boost for gaming, so to speak, it gets that extra power boost. So you're able to quickly jump back and forth between all of those things. The guy had to log in really quick. You're quickly able to jump into the Xbox OS and just keep all of those gaming things slick. And you're able to get extra RAM if you boot into gaming mode. Can I have 2 SSD? I actually didn't ask about installing a secondary SSD, but the device feels really good. It just feels good. Here is an image of me just holding it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I just thought that was a cool image. Just Doom the Dark Ages on the little handheld that could. This market's going to get super competitive, in my opinion. We know that the rumors are that PlayStation is going to be making a PlayStation 6 console, whatever that means. And that is exciting for a lot of people, myself included. I'm excited by all of the options that we have to play our games these days. And I think that is going to be a thing that continues into the future for a very long time. I think a lot of people are looking to just play their games wherever they are. And I do think that that is what we're going to be seeing more and more of from all these companies in the near future, because they're just like, hey, we want to meet you where you are. We know that the cost of I don't know, what are the boxes these days? $500, $600, $700 box is prohibitively cost prohibitive. And I think that is really going to shape how people play games in the future and what access they have in the future, if that makes sense. I think it means that companies will come to players where they are, as opposed to forcing them to get a new box. That the one thing that I would push back against, and we're going to do a little bit of a segment on it later, is that I do not think that the PlayStation 6 handheld rumors, the price, that's the one thing that I just don't think is legitimate. I don't think that the price of the handheld is going to be the rumored $399. Now, I jokingly said that Xbox should release a handheld at $399, and I'm like, I don't know, man. If PlayStation's raising the price of all of their base consoles, then I don't know that it's going to be that price. If Nintendo's handheld is $450, in what world would PlayStation release a handheld that undercuts that, but it has the power of the PlayStation 5? That's not going to happen. There's just there's no way that happens. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think that the rumored handheld would ever launch at that price point at $399? Yeah, there's no chance. And I don't know how. I didn't watch Moore's Law video. I just looked at all of the reports about it. But I don't think there's any world where there's going to be a handheld from Sony that would be $399. I could see it being $499 or $599. That would make sense to me. But $399, no way. And I do wonder if like the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X, they have two different SKUs. I do wonder if they would ever go that direction. I've heard nothing but positive things about the PlayStation Portal, so it would be great to see what Sony brings to the market and what that ends up looking like. So personally, I'm all for it. Let's see what you got, and then, we can talk about the pros and cons, or what we like and what we don't like for something like that.